백스윙은 에너지를 비축하는 거고
그렇죠.
다운스윙 때 다 써야 한다.
그렇죠. 써야 되는데 저는 비축은 하는데 쓰지는 못하는 것 같아요. 자, okay, now show us please how to make a downswing.
Oh, the downswing. Okay, so now there's two different downswings, two different transitions. Remember, heel up versus heel down. Those are the two. So let's go with heel down first. You're at the top of your swing, and now how do you get over on the downswing? The first thing you do is you pull down. You pull down the handle. This is the same no matter what. You're pulling down the handle and then squatting into the club. So you're coming from here and you're squatting in. For me, that's very, very hard with the heel down method because you don't have pretty much a tail or a trigger that lets you know when you've completed the backswing and the appropriate steps. But it's still possible to do. You want to get here and then pull as much as you can, and that is the part that changes your downswing. Now, the heel up method is a little different. So you're already turned. Now what you're doing is, before you pull down, when you're heel up, you stomp that left foot. So heels up, stomp that left foot. And that's a very important part. Number one, what that does is it keeps you from flying forward and throwing your hips forward. Once your heel goes down, now your weight's coming back behind you again. And now you're able to really turn and push. So we're here, stomp. Now we're pulling and going. So there's two different ways. So with the heel up, for me, it was a whole lot easier to understand the sequencing a little bit. And then once you get about right here, now what you're going to do is you're going to use the right leg. Remember, we were here and we were stored up with all this energy. So now we're here, and guess what we're going to do with it? We're going to really get in here and push. But we're not, same thing as before. Remember, now we've got another stake over here. So we're here, and when we push, we're not pushing this way into the alignment rod. What we're doing is we're here, we're stomped, we've already stomped, and we're pushed, but watch that. You get to a certain point and you turn. You don't keep going. If you run into the alignment stick, now what you've done is you've also, big key point, every famous teacher knows, now your head moves. So the key is when you're here, you're pushing, but you're keeping that head as far behind the ball as you can, really trying to keep it in address. That's why we were saying earlier in the program about stretching and weightlifting and how you can't get into the golf positions. There's nothing that can really help you other than drilling them. So that's the key. When you're coming here, you're stomp down, you're push, 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 and turn. But you gotta keep that head here. Look at where the belt buckle's going. Belt buckle's going square down the target.
거의 머리와 벨트 버클이 90도를 이루는데요?
유연성이 엄청나게 필요할 것 같아요.
You're very flexible.
I was going to say flexibility is a very, very key part in completing golf. It's a very good balance between flexibility and strength, which allows for you to have a really, really good golf sequence. And those things really come from drilling. It comes from practicing. A lot of times, you know, you go around the offices and you see guys in the office and they're doing this motion here and they're at a copy machine or they're standing at someone's desk and they're sitting in there and they're doing all these things. But it really becomes with how many times can you repeat that action over and over again until it's ingrained in your brain. And that's what makes a difference.
Can you actually show us your downswing?
Sure. So we're going to get to the top, and we're going to stomp and then go.
Wow.
I think that one may get close. Nope, short.
Very short.
Oh,
But
just
it's
in the
nice.
front.
34m가 나왔네요.
네.
와.
So pulling down is completely different. you're thinking that you're here. And a lot of amateurs come over the top because they want to pull down, they want to go here.
Yeah.
That's an axe, not a golf swing. So remember, we're rotating. So we've rotated here. We've gotten to the top. Watch what happens when you actually just pull down. My heel's down. Remember, heel's down, pull down. But remember, we have to get to the left side. How do we get to the left side? Watch.
Turn.
You turn.
Oh.
So the easiest way to learn how to hit the ball further is to chip.
Pull down and turn.
Yeah. So
That's
when you're
nice.
chipping, it's easy. If you actually do the chipping right, you'll get here. When you pull down, watch what happens. You pull right here and the club doesn't go anywhere. Well, how do you really complete the swing? You use the legs to help you. So you'll get here, and that helps you. You're getting where you're turning. And that's it. All you're doing, so it's easier to practice with a wedge first. So when you get here, you're pulling here, and then this is helping you get through. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is exactly what I just did. I stood up. I looked for the ball. Remember, it's still the same. So when you get here and you pull down, watch. See how the head stayed back? It stayed down. You can even hear the difference. Head up, doesn't sound good. Sounds crisp. So remember, everything that you do, whether it's a wedge or a driver, it's the exact same swing. It's not much different. The principles are still the same. You're still turning. Remember, there's no point in doing all this work that we just did, then to come and do this. So when you think that you're hitting straight down from the top of the swing, like most amateurs want to do, watch what's the first thing I do. So I literally, everything I had stored in my legs, I just gave it away. And then, so when you're talking about physics, I took the club way outside of my body. Now I'm not fast anymore. It creates a parachute, something that slows me down. And now I have to fight to bring it back in. And then, oh man, it's gonna go right. Oh, or it's gonna go, in this case, it's gonna go way left. Way left. So what do? I hold off with my hands and I try to square the club face, and then it goes something like this. Big sweeping to the right, which most amateurs do. And then
Most
how
the
do we
popular
fix that
shot.
problem, right? What's the first thing they do? Oh, I need to aim more left because
Yes.
now it's going to go. Well, guess what I do now? I'm way over the top. Now I hold off more and it goes even further right. So what you want to do is really understand when you're pulling down, you're coming from the top, and that's why we said squat. So when you stomp that heel, or if your heel's already on the ground, you're squatting, you're pulling. See, if you look at the camera here, look where that's at. That's perfect. You look at any of the KPGA guys, they're here, and when they come down, this is way down here, and it's perfect. Look at how that elbow is right into the body. Well, you think that you're going to get stuck, but no. If you keep turning, you won't. And then you hit, and you release the ball.
When you start the downswing, when you pull down, do you try to keep your shoulders stay or start to turn?
So for me, I believe the shoulders have to stay square. If the shoulders start to go, what ends up happening is now you bring that right into play. A lot of times, my personal belief and my philosophy is when people hit the ball right, remember we talked about my setup. So if my shoulders are here, then the ball is traditionally going to go right because I don't have a choice. I'm pulling across it. Remember, square shoulders, square hips, square feet. Well, at impact, all you're trying to do is get back to the same position you were at address, body position. Even if your club is way back here, your body position has to be the exact same. So at impact, what you're looking for is this, square. Well, your hips are going to be a little open, which is fine because the hips should be gone a little bit. But now this has to say square, and unless you moved your feet and you picked them up, your feet are still going to be in the same position. So this is a power source, but this has to be here. This can't be here. Look at what happens now. I move that shoulder, now we're back open again. So the key is to keep that shoulder in and keep it flexed. So definitely you don't want to start flaring the shoulders open. Really just squat down, keep it all together, and you may lift this shoulder. This shoulder can go vertical. Now we get back to that high shoulder, but that's only an impact so that your body can continue to clear through.
얘기하는 걸 들어보면 굉장히 터득을 많이 한 것 같아요. 이런 거를 어떻게 습득하게 됐는지도 굉장히 궁금하거든요.
I used to be a personal trainer a long, long time ago, so I understand how the body works, and it doesn't matter if you're tall, short, skinny, fat, it doesn't matter. There's certain things that the body can do and it can't do, and you just have to kind of abide in certain regulations, no matter if you're superhuman or not.